Okay, so today we've got Jason from Goldfish Ads, and Goldfish is going to really up level your presentation because it will help you present and indicate exactly where and how the digital out of home advertising looks, feels, whether it be static or video. Plus, they've got a great planning system. And look at the surprise in Blake's eyes as he's trying to get those screens back up. Look at him. Well, we'll come back in a minute. We got Hussein coming in live from Jordan. Nice to see you, Hussein. I like that background. Maybe you could interpret that for us. There you go. There he is in his lovely house.
Thank you very much. How are
Okay,
you
now
guys?
we got it back. Good to see you, Hussein. Thank you, Blake. All right.
Likewise.
So, as I mentioned, a great planning system and also a great proposal system to kind of helping advertisers, brands, agencies understanding exactly what this campaign is going to look like contextually, where, what, and how. So, Jason, we look forward to a great presentation, and then we'll have a little chance, hopefully, some Q&A after that. Some more housekeeping on DPAA coming up. We've got lots of activities. Please join our holiday and Christmas party, December 6th. This will be in New York City at the moment, an undisclosed location. You'll have to write to Blake and beat it out of him to tell you where it is and what to wear. But Blake will clearly help you with that. But we will be announcing soon where it is every year. This holiday event and Christmas party also is great. We always have some very interesting brand decision makers, agencies, and cocktails, and maybe some hors d'oeuvres. So stay tuned to your DPAA emails, LinkedIn, and other social to find out what and where. And hope you can join us. Every year, that one's a big hit. For those of you that were not, but I hope that's not any of you that weren't at our summit, as we had 980 people there, is the latest Ajay Durrani professional and the venue count. And if you weren't there, you clearly should not even be on this call because you'd have to have a thermometer in your mouth because you've got a clear case of FOMO if you weren't there. But I could see from Tiffany Southwell that she was there, and I saw her there, which was great. We had some amazing CMOs, as you know. We had McDonald's, CMO of Pepsi, gave a master class in marketing 101 to 505. Kyra Rich, unlike the Kira Rich, unlike the Kyra from Hype Stack, Kira Rich was amazing on a lot of the augmented reality that they did with Outfront and Times Square. Tracy, a brilliant lady that runs all global media for MasterCard. Val is CEO of North America. It was a great day. Jim Wilson, of course, Brooks Running. And we also had, of course, we had the star from Broadway. There he is, who played in A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond show that did a very touching rendition of Come to America in the morning. And then the afternoon, we all did a sing along. He sounded just like Neil Diamond as he did Sweet Caroline. It was once again a great event. And, is for those of you that attend, we've got about 15, 20 mini summits along the year, online and offline for DPAA and our membership. And then in addition to that, we have coming up in London, we've got another event for our European and UK office. We've got, once again, brands. We have the head of media for UK for McDonald's, for Sky, and Chris Marjorin runs all of UK and Europe that the other Chris doesn't run in the US for Rapport. They're both Chris's, and they are a global DPAA member. And for those of you that want to join us at the Sanderson in London, it'll be November 29th, breakfast briefing, and all of our London events are once again great learning, great connecting, hear from agencies, hear from brands, and hear from fellow members about how to drive your business forward. We've got now about 180 member companies around the world, and our Europe is evidently growing fast. And a lot of our members are global because digital travels borders quite easily. Programmatic does, screens do, QR codes do, systems do, planning does as well. And I think that is probably it until we get to Jason. Am I right about that? Yes. So Jason Bamford, take it over and show us how we can make better, bigger presentations and utilize the Goldfish planning tools. Thank you. Jason, to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Barry. So I'm Jason Bamford. I run product as well as help start the company at Goldfish Ads. And we have a solution for publishers that we want to showcase today, all around visualizations and mockups. So as everyone knows on the call, digital out of home is such a visual medium, and some of the power of it is just, real world placements, whether it's a big billboard or video or TVs or really any kind of placement, and just being able to highlight that to an advertiser. So as a result of that being such a big component of the value of digital out of home, we created a mock-up tool that makes it really easy to visualize any of these different placements. And going beyond that, we built software that enables us to create collections of mock-ups and build galleries, embed galleries, create different background tags and combinations, and embed and white label all these visualizations onto any publisher's page. So our thinking was to really help publishers keep track of their inventory as well as show and visualize the screens that they're trying to sell. So with that, let me just share my screen here and kind of show you some examples. So here's just a big gallery of lots of different mock-ups that we've built out here. And you can see what's unique about this is it can also do video. So you can see video rendering across some of the different placements, as well as just static pictures. So it's able to handle both. And it's super easy to create these galleries, really in just a few seconds. And I'll show you that in a second. But this is generally what an output would look like, some page with a collection of different mock-ups on it. So these are all different mock-ups. And the creative gets rendered inside of a background, and that's what kind of creates the mockup. So again, this is the output, and this can be embedded on any type of website or any page that a publisher might have, and where you'd want to show it. So let me just jump into the actual tool here. So this is the mockup tool. These are different galleries that we created. So the one I was just showing a second ago is this one here. So this is what it looks like internally inside of the tool, where you can delete different mockups or you can add new mockups to this gallery. You can also change the names of them. So like if you wanted to highlight certain placements, or say you were a billboard operator and wanted to actually change the name of it to maybe like the on I-95 southbound or something like that, or if you're or in front of Whole Foods or a certain, if you're more of a place-based digital out-of-home operator. So you can actually change the names of these mockups to be a little bit more relevant for your company. These are just some examples. So I'll show you how we kind of build these galleries in a second, but I think it's first kind of important to know kind of how it's put together. So we've got galleries, mockups, creatives, and backgrounds. So backgrounds are what actually store the raw image, the background, that the creative then gets rendered on. So for backgrounds, we've stored thousands of different backgrounds, and when we work with a publisher, we onboard your different backgrounds to be able into the system. So essentially, what that means is we go in and we upload a file that represents your picture of your location, and then we tag the corners of where a creative should be rendered within that picture. And then you have the ability to tag it by publisher, orientation, location type, different tags that you might want to use. So lots of ways to kind of categorize different screens. Like maybe you wanted a background tag for all of your, all of your screens in a certain chain or restaurant organization or a certain retailer. You can create tags for collections of different screens that you maybe want to show. But essentially, the base set is, you take screens and then you can, tag the corners of where you want a creative to be rendered on. Once you've done that, you then have your creatives. So these creatives can, again, be video or they can be static images, and you can upload them really easily. And then mockups are when you put a creative on a background, and then galleries are collections of these mockups. So here's a mockup. And again, galleries are collections of those mockups. And here's an example gallery that we started the conversation with. So in order to build a new gallery, a couple ways to do it. The first main way would just be to go, click new. So you're going into, a couple use cases would be maybe you're pitching a client and you want to highlight what your placements look like. So here are all my billboards in this market, and this is what they look like. Or here are what all my grocery screens look like. You'd come in, say you're putting together a pitch. You can then create a gallery to send along with the proposal. So that's one common use case. The other one would be maybe some sort of post play. You got an insertion order from an advertiser, and they asked you what some of your screens looked like when it was live. You can also create a gallery for that too. Like I'll just say like example pitch, create your gallery, and then the next step would be to find some of your creatives. What creatives do you want to use? So I'll just pick a couple Goldfish ones here. I'll do the Goldfish video vertical and maybe a wide one for billboards and then a horizontal one. So you can kind of select what, creatives you want to use. And then the next step would be what backgrounds do you want to use? So this is where you can select, really anything in the catalog. So all of your screens, or however many, like you're a publisher, however many screens you send us, will all be available in this as a dropdown. And this is where you can come in and, filter on certain things, like maybe a certain tag or location type. We've kind of pre-tagged a couple that we like here, and I'll just render all of these. But maybe there was a certain section that you wanted. So once you've selected the backgrounds you want to use, you can then confirm it. So it'll show you all the different combinations it's making. So say you had a couple different creatives you wanted to render, it'll do all the combinations for you automatically. So all of the, it'll match up the specs automatically, and you could remove maybe any you didn't want to show or something like that right here pretty easily. So once you've done all of that, you just hit confirm, and it's going to go off and start rendering out the different mock-ups in the example pitch gallery here. So each mock-up takes, a little bit of time to render. They're fairly quick. Images are definitely faster than rendering video. So you'll see some of the image ones that don't have a video render first. But it's really that simple. So you're putting together a pitch for an advertiser and you want to show them what your assets look like. Definitely rendering a gallery is a great way to do that. Across all of the different inventory you might have as a publisher. So a really great way to as a pre-sale, and then also potentially post-campaign as well, to be able to highlight all these locations. Couple other cool features. If anyone doesn't have any questions so far, one of them is for pitching. So like say you're putting together a pitch and you want to show what the different screens will look like. A common thing we like to do, recommend, is maybe using a client logo. So if I just, for example, DPAA global logo, see what we've got here. I'll use this one. So you can take an image. So let's save this image. Okay, example. Save. Now we've got our image there. We've built another tool that plugs into the mockup tool that we give access to publishers to, where you can select a file, example DPAA logo, and then it'll automatically render the gallery for you with all of the different sizes and formats, and do the resizing of the image all automatically. So all you need is one individual file, create the gallery, it does the automatic resizing, it automatically uploads the creative, and it automatically creates the gallery for you inside of your account. So within like a matter of seconds, you can have a full gallery going into the pitch just using the client's logo. And again, it'll start to render here, but you can see some of them are already starting to come through. And again, you can imagine just kind of scaling this up to help with, either sales or post, campaign and stuff like that. So we've kind of automated some of the buttons they'd have to press inside the tool into like an easy to use application that ties into our mockup tool APIs. So as a publisher, you get access to both the nice easy gallery creation tool, as well as the full suite of functionality inside the actual mockup tool. So here's an example of a DPA one. So it took that logo that was probably, almost square. Oh, actually it is square. So it gives you the pixelage there. So a square logo, and converted it into all the different sizes needed to render it on digital to home screens. So an example of that there. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Again, great visualizations. Digital to home is so visual, so you should always go in with good creative, and this hopefully helps you as a publisher, kind of furnish that and put that together. So one of the things we were doing was, helping publishers, get access to this, and maybe do some sort of 3-month trial, and then work with them to figure out how we can get you onboarded and roll this out to really as many publishers and creating good visualizations as we can. So yeah, I'll kind of pause there and see if there's any questions, or I don't know, Bear, if you want to had anything to add or anything like that. But I wanted to keep it really simple and really visual.
That's great. Are
yeah.
you going to also go into the planning tool as well, or is this what you're doing today?
No, this is just a mock-up demo. Yeah, this is just a mock-up demo
Okay.
for publishers today. Yeah,
Great. Yeah, look, I think it's great. I mean, it's certainly easy. It certainly looks great. And there's the old adage, if they can see it, touch it, and feel it, they can buy it. So you're certainly delivering that kind of effectiveness and easily. Anybody want to put a question in the chat, or you could just there's not that many people. You could just blurt it out if you like for our friends to answer for Jason. Blake, what do you think? Blake, you're a creative guy. What do you think of this?
Well, I'm already thinking of reasons for me to use this, so I'm going to connect with Jason afterward. I'm always trying to show just digital out of home and out of home in action, and I think that this is a great way to make mock-ups, even from a marketing standpoint, not even just a sales standpoint. So it's very useful, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Do you charge on a subscription basis after the 3-month trial? How do you work with that?
Yeah. So we kind of work with the publisher to kind of figure out what works for them. So it's really only for publishers, and we kind of base it off of, how many screens do they want uploaded, how many backgrounds do they have, how many users are they going to want to have, are they going to want to embed it on their website, they're going to use one of ours. So we kind of work with them to figure out, what kind of pricing model works for them. Yeah, we try to be very
Excellent.
publisher friendly.
Good. You want to just give your email maybe so people can get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. Jason@goldfishads.com.
Easy enough. Oh, I do see something in the chat here. Let's see. Mary Perella says, very slick, Jason. And Mary, you are always very slick and substantive. So thank you, Mary.
Jason, quick question. It's not confined only to media owners. Like if agencies or brands want to do this on behalf of multiple publishers or represent, themselves and see prior to any campaign launch, it's the same commercial model, right?
Yeah, we kind of have to figure it out. Right now, our focus is really just for publishers.
Okay.
It's something maybe we can entertain or just take offline and talk about it. But to start, this was definitely like a publisher solution. But if that's something maybe you're interested in, happy to have a conversation about it.
All right, I'll reach out.
Awesome.
Quick question regarding the DPA logo on the digital board or the billboard size, the logo itself was centered. Is there an easy way to quickly edit that to stretch that one off logo out for like a billboard as opposed to like another size? So it sized it, but it put it small in the middle.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does put it small in the middle. So the way it works is it just takes whatever the image is, so like this image, and it just extends a border in the various, either vertically or horizontally in order to kind of fill the space. So if you don't have the correct spec for the screen, then it won't be, you can't like adjust it necessarily. So what I'd probably do in that case is maybe screenshot the logo, but screenshot it in a way where it is off-centered already, and then that would allow it to kind of go in. Yeah, it's not hard. We just wanted to keep it simple, so it just kind of picks a way to resize it and moves on. But yeah,
And it is
Uh,
the resizing is based off of, like you said, extending the background. So as a designer, I would be mindful of my background color and all, because that essentially would be, so if I wanted the logo to be on a red background, I would essentially put it in a square with the red, and then let it.
oh, if you were actually designing the asset for it, we would just give you the specs. Yeah, we would just give you the specs. Yeah, this logo example I showed you with the DPA, that was more just to kind of showcase the fact that you can literally drag and drop any image in there. But if you wanted to design a billboard asset for this that would show in the top left or something like that, we would just give you the spec we need, like a 1400 by 400 as an example. And it would, you would just have whatever you wanted in it.
Gotcha.
I see we've got Ray. Hi, Jason. Can you show us how the different galleries are managed? For example, if you have many different clients, do you have tags or search functionality?
Yes, good question. So we do. So search has been the big one. I don't know if we have any gallery tags. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can search by advertiser and campaign. That's a good point. So yeah, you can search by those things. So when you go to create your gallery, had you given it, a campaign name or an advertiser name, you would be able to then search your galleries by those attributes. You can also search at the top here. So like if you want to find the one for pitch, it's pretty easy to find. So a lot of times people name their galleries in a way that's easy and searchable at a later date.
So one thing I'll add, we used it when I was on the media owner side, and we represented bar screens. So we had a bar gallery that had 5 to 10 different visions of or versions of our bar screen. And then we had cinema, and then we had a couple of other networks. So we would be able to go in and pick which media we wanted this to appear in. And then we would just send those. If it was proactive, this was a great tool to use for that as well, because we got to show an advertiser exactly what the ad would look like in a variety of different environments. So I would say it was super user-friendly, allowed salespeople to create their own mock-ups and not have to wait for marketing to do it for you, which was another massive advantage. So we loved it.
Thanks, Carrie.
Excellent. Anybody else? And it looks like we're going to be able to let you all go on the half an hour. So that's great. Jason, well done. It looks like a very facile and clever software. So thank you for doing that. And Blake will be putting out many great executions, I'm sure. And thank you all. And we'll see you at more DPAA events. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.